Hey, Shalom. We'll get started here in just a few moments. All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto my power, YAHAWAH, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Hakodash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahawah, and his son's name is word in the call Jesus Christ. Real name in the Hebrew is Yahawashai. Also give a praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Kakodash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes edification possible. I want to say shalom to you sincere heart of Aki and Wagwat, that you brothers and sisters making bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors unto my beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Azamawat here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. All right, coming back this morning through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI to do another lesson. And Lord's will, this lesson will be edifying and exhorting unto the elect of the nation of Israel, and also glorifying unto the names of my power, YAHAWASHI. And yeah, I want to get into the topic at hand. As you can read the title of this lesson, it says, "Trusting the Lord is the only plan." All right, trusting YAHAWASHI is the only plan. That's all, and that's it, man. Okay, that is all, and that's it. Because our people, when I say our people, I'm speaking about you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Okay, you really think that arming yourselves, okay, getting guns, okay, prepping, getting all this damn water and beans, and ultimately, trusting in, carnal means trusting in flesh rather than trusting Yahweh Bashim Shai. You think, okay, that's going to give you more of an advantage as it relates into basically getting a victory here on this side. Okay, because here as of late we've been seeing our enemy Esau Edom, the so-called white man, gearing up for war. Okay, as they just changed the cabinet in the White House from Department of Defense to Department of War. Okay, we've been going into this whole week, how Trump basically been speaking about how he wants to turn these inner cities into combat zones, training zones. So clearly and easily we see our enemy, okay, poised and ready for war, and we know who he has his sights on. Okay, and that's the children of Israel. All right, that's so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man. And trusting Yahweh Bashim Shah, that's the only plan. Okay, because you have a lot of faithless and incredulous you know, uh, uh, of our people, saying, well, what's y'all's plan? Y'all talking all this, y'all bringing out all these Bible verses. What y'all gonna do? Okay, well, you want to know what we're gonna do? We're gonna trust in Yahweh Bashim Shah. See, and I want to get this real quick here in the book of Psalms, the 20th chapter, and I want to go fairly briefly into this account in the book of Second Maccabees, the 15th chapter, when you had this Edomite Nicanor come up against us and our temple and our land. All right, and just want to really just dive into the mindset that our forefather, Judas Maccabeus, displayed, as well as pushed into our people, man. And that's what the true prophets are doing here in these times. They're comforting their people. They're exhorting their people to trust solely in Yahweh Bashim Shah. Okay, even King David, man, the greatest warrior that the earth has ever seen. Okay, what did he say in the book of Psalms, the 44th chapter? Let's get that real quick. Let's open up with Psalms 44. Then we'll get that Psalms 20. Psalms chapter 44 and verse 6. Let's start at verse 5. Really, verse 4. Psalms 44 and 4. 444. Says, Thou art my king, O Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. Command deliverances for Jacob. That's right, man. And deliverance has been commanded for Jacob, man. All right, the elect of Jacob, the elect of the nation of Israel. It's been commanded. You see, and we have our big brother Yahweh Shah, our king, okay, that's coming back, all right, to deliver his people, man, the elect. Verse 5, through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. That's it, man. And King David always gave the credit and the glory unto YAHAWASHI, man. As all the battles and wars that King David won, fought and won. Okay, not once did he ever, take the credit for it. You see? And he always trusted in YAHAWASHI. Before he went out to those battles, to those wars, what did he do? He inquired of the Lord. You see? Should I go up, to go fight them? Then the Lord will either give him a yay or a nay, through the prophets, man. See? And that's the mindset we got to be in. And, as it relates into the times that we in now, as it relates into getting physical with Esau, first and foremost, it doesn't make any sense. And secondly, most importantly, well, really chiefly, the Lord commanded us not to. He says, for we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Our battle here in these times is in the spirit, man. You see, and if you don't have any faith in YAHAWASHI, okay, that's not going to seem like that's enough for you. You're going to try to find a victory through carnal means, and you're going to lose, bro. Got to walk in the spirit. Psalms 44 and verse 6, for I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. And don't get it twisted, man. King David, he knew exactly how to use that sword. He knew exactly how to use that bow. He knew exactly how to use his hands. You see? But he says he's not going to trust in those things. And he knows that salvation isn't going to come, okay, from human strength, from human skill. Verse 7, but thou hast saved us from our enemies and has put them to shame that hated us. That's it, man. It's going to be solely in YAHAWASHI. So let's go ahead and get into this account real quick. And shalom to all you Akim Alquaf tuning in. Hey, YAHAWASHI Barakathum. Let's get into this account here in the book of 2nd Maccabees, the 15th chapter. Second Maccabees 15, and we'll start from the top, and we're going to kind of jump in and out of the G&T version. Right. Let me turn to it here. G&T Bible real quick. All right. The 2nd Maccabees chapter 15 from the top. We're going to start in the KJV. It says, but Nicanor, and mind you, Nicanor, he was an Edomite. Well, he's an Edomite. All right. During the time of, that third beast that you read about in Daniel the 7th chapter. When the Greeks, had us, in captivity, had us subjected. All right. But, we all know about, the Maccabean revolt. All right. That, the Hasmonean, dynasty. All right. It says, it's like, not the Hasmonean, the thing about Judas Maccabees. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, it's a Hasmonean. Give me 1 second. Maybe tripping. Yeah, Hasmonean. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, the Hasmonean dynasty was an Israelite ruling dynasty of Judea and surrounding regions during the Hellenistic times of the Second Temple period. Right. Okay, so that's the time frame of this. So going back, this 2nd Maccabees 15 from the top says, but Nicanor, hearing that Judas and his company were in strong places about Samaria, resolved without any danger to set upon them on the Sabbath day. Now, mind you, as we go through this account, we have to apply this in the spirit. As we read any scripture, okay, we have to, anytime I read any scriptures, man, I always ask myself, how does this relate to me today? How does this apply today in the time that I'm living in? Okay, because the Bible is a living document, you see? So, with all that being said, we see exactly what Esau's doing. All right, he's geared for war. You got the Department of War, okay? You got Pete Hegseth talking this cash money, Trump talking cash money. You got the Secretary of Chief of Staff of the White House that did a video on yesterday, told the police force out there in Memphis, Tennessee, hey, y'all are unleashed. Do what you need to do, and you have unprecedented support. you know, from the White House. Just do what you need to do. And it's been a lot of, you know, leaked videos going out. You know, the brother Benaiah out here in Dallas showed me in this video, you know, yesterday this Jake woman was giving her testimony about, you know, ICE just coming in Chicago, and they just snatching everybody up, bro. Snatching everybody up, whether you had warrants or not, whether you was an illegal immigrant or not, snatching you up, snatching your kids up, you know, and taking them, you know, to a holding facility, you know. And one of the ICE agents, one of them Eve women, one of them Jake women had said, you know, man, you know, why you doing this to the children? And one of the ICE agents said, man, F them children. You see? So we see the energy and the vibration that Esau's in, man. Okay? And that same cruel, tyrannical, you know, unmerciful spirit that he's always been in. And our people about to get a rude awakening. You see? And where does that put us as believers in YAHAWASHI? What's our plan? Trust in the Lord. That's it. That's it, bro. That's all we can do. YAHAWASHI has subjected us all to hope. At the end of the day, that's the only thing you can do. There's nothing physical you can do. Okay, man, let me try to get a 500 push-ups in a day. Okay, you know, let me prep all this water and canned goods, and no, bro, ain't none of that gonna help. Now, I mean, it may help a little bit, okay, but in the grand scheme of things, man, all right, we're in the worst case scenario, and the Lord subjected us to hope, okay, for a reason, man, okay, to display our faith unto Him. So this second Maccabees 15. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get in the GNT version. Second Maccabees 15:1 in the GNT. And mind you, you know, Nicanor, he was sent, you know, because of a wicked Jake named Alcimus. And you read about Alcimus in chapter 14. See, so it's our people, man. Hey, our people, they're gonna get judgment right along with you damn Edomites, man. You see, those are the you know, the chiefest enemies of ours, man. Okay, Esau and our own, and the wicked of our own people, man. See, that's why Nicanor is coming down here in this chapter upon Jake, man, because you had this wicked ass nigga. Okay, his name was Alcimus. Second Maccabees 14. Read about him, man. So Second Maccabees 15:1. Nicanor learned that Judas and his men were in the region of Samaria, and Samaria, that was where we had a stronghold at, a strong tower. You see, and Esau has learned that there's a remnant here in these times that's you know, that's awakened. And now we've run it back into our strong tower, man. Proverbs 18:10. So he feels threatened. It says, so he decided to attack them on a Sabbath when he could do when he could do so without any danger to himself. See, says verse 2, the Jews who were forced to accompany his army begged him not to do such a cruel and savage thing, but to respect the day that the all-seeing God, or power, had honored and made the most holy of all days. Then Nicanor, the lowest creature on earth. See, that's what Esau is. He's the basest man. He's a base man. See, and that's the curse that the Lord pronounced upon the serpent, going all the way back to the garden, man. See, says that you know, you should you know, dwell upon, you know, your belly, you know, and eat dust all the days of thy life. Meaning Esau is going to be the lowest of all people, man, upon the face of the earth. So it says, then Nicanor, the lowest creature on earth, asked if there was some sovereign ruler in heaven who had commanded them to honor the Sabbath. See, so speaking that cash money, man, boasting against YAHAWASHI, exalting himself above all that is called the Most High. You see, just like Noah Yuval Harari, he says God is dead. It just takes a while to hide the body. See, Esau talking shit, man, blaspheming the heavens, the tabernacle, and those that dwell therein. It says, then Nicanor, the lowest creature on earth, asked if there was some sovereign ruler in heaven who had commanded them to honor the Sabbath. And the Jews replied, yes, the living Lord who rules in heaven commanded us to honor the Sabbath. But Nicanor answered, I am the ruler on earth, and I'll order you to take up your weapons and to do what the king commands. However, he did not succeed in carrying out his cruel plan. See? So Esau, he's once again moving in that same vibration on the earth right now, you know, just totally disregarding, okay, the King of Kings, and man, I'm the ruler on the earth. I'm the one that dictates, your reality. I'm the one that has the wealth, the honor, the power, the military might. You see? But you see, it says that he didn't succeed in carrying out his cruel plan. And Esau, he's not going to exceed in carrying out his cruel plan in these times either, bro. Setting up the N to the W to the O, erasing every single Israelite off the planet Earth, you see, or turning you into a human cyborg. See, his cruel plan is not going to succeed. All right, what will succeed, okay, is the new order that YAHAWASHI is going to establish, and that's the throne of David, man, ruled and governed by his only begotten son, Yahawashi. So let's continue to read verse 6, 2 Maccabees 15:6. And I'm going to get it in the KJV version. It says, so Nicanor, in exceeding pride and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with him. And what's that public monument in these times that Esau wants to set up? Okay, to try to set up as a public monument, to show that he had victory over us, establishing that NWO, man. See, verse 7. But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him, man. See, like the title of the lesson says, our only plan, or the only plan, is trusting in the Lord, bro. You see, that was the only plan that all of our forefathers had. Listen, when it comes to serving the Lord, there is no plan B, bro. See, we live in a plan B generation, okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about. See, but when it comes to the Lord, ain't no plan Bs, bro. It's either you trust him or you don't. Let me get this here in the book of Psalms. Psalms 119 and 113. Psalms 119 and 113, and it says, I hate those with divided loyalties, but I love your instructions. Let's read that again. It says, I hate those with divided loyalties. That's right, man. If you have a plan B, okay, if you one foot in and one foot out as it relates to trusting in Yahweh Bashmal Shah, okay, Yahweh Bashmal Shah, he hates you, man. All right, point blank, period. Okay, you're not going to be delivered. You're not going to receive that protection, that provision, man. You see? And you see a lot of Israelites, man, they have divided loyalties, and they displayed those divided loyalties during the time of 2020. Here they are still talking about having faith in the Lord, but they openly told Israel in these times to go get that dragon juice, and openly told Israel in these times that the Most High don't care if you take an MOTB. That's called divided loyalties, man. It's either you trust in Yahweh Bashmal Shah or you don't. That's our only plan, bro, is just trusting in the Lord. There's nothing else you can do. Riches can't save you. What's that? Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. We open up with Psalms 44:4. Okay, King David says, for my sword shall not save me. I don't trust in my bow. I don't trust in my sword. See? So there's nothing you can do, all right, to get yourself out of this situation. Our only plan is trusting Yahweh Bashmal Shah. So let's go back here to 2 Maccabees 15:7. And that was Judas Maccabeus' plan. You know, and he was a mighty warrior. I mean, you read about, you read in the book of Maccabees, man, all those wars that he fought. Valiant man, brave, strong, courageous. You see? But his only plan was always to trust in the Lord. If he won a battle, he gave credit to the Lord. If he didn't win a battle, he understood that it just wasn't the Lord's plan. But he still kept that faith. 2 Maccabees 15:7. But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him. Right, and we got to have that ever sure confidence, man, as we see Esau about to come in like a flood, bro. See, and lessons like this is boring to Jake, man. Okay, they don't want to talk about the fear of the Lord, just trusting in the Lord. Because why? It sounds weak. Jake want to hear some carnal shit, man. Yeah, man. Hey, we need to go. We need to go take this to the streets, man. We need to go marching. You know, go get some guns. That's what gets Jake all roused up and excited, man. See why? Because they're fools and they're walking in the flesh. But what does the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, say? For carnally to be carnally minded is enmity with Yahawah and is death. But to be spiritual minded is life and peace. Now, who doesn't want life and peace, right? But the only way to get to preserve your life, to keep your life, okay, is to be spiritually minded, man. You see? Second Maccabees 15:7. But Maccabees had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him. Let's get this real quick in the book of Sirach. Sirach. And our people tried everything. They tried building up, Black Wall Street. They tried, okay, having economic literacy, financial liberation. We tried all that shit, man. We did it already. Jake tried, taking it to the streets, Black Panthers, but you see how far that got you, man. Now look at you, okay, through losing your jobs, on child support. You see, but one thing our people have never tried is trusting Yahawah fully, okay, not partially, but fully trusting, and that's something that our people never tried, bro. You know, see, but the elect, they're doing it, and they're going to continue to do it, man. Isaiah 10:20. For a remnant shall no longer stay upon him that smote him, but stay upon the Holy One of Israel in truth, man. See? And we're about to see the power. We're about to see the pure power of, we're about to see the pure power of trusting in the Lord, bro. We're going to see how powerful that is. And the Lord's going to show all you wicked ass jakes, man, you unbelieving ass niggas, okay, that, all right, how weak you were, how weak you really are to try to trust in your own self, man. You know? The Lord's going to show up and show out for those that have faith in him. But this is Sirach 34. If I can find it. Here we go. Sirach 34 in the GNT. And verse 13. It says, those who fear the Lord will live. See, it's that simple. If you want to live, fear Yahawah. See, but really having that fear of the Lord, that's really a gift. Sirach 1:14. The fear of the Lord was created with the faithful in the womb. So it's either you have it or you don't. And the elect, they have it. And those whom the Lord has given it unto, all right, they're increasing in their fear of the Lord, bro, day by day. So that's our only plan, bro, is trusting in the Lord. We're all subject. The Lord has subjected us all to hope. Was that Romans the 8th chapter? For we are saved by hope. It's nothing you can do. You're not saved. You're not going to be saved by your guns. You're not going to be saved by you know, trusting in your woman. See, trusting in this goddamn system, taking that micro C hip, man. That's not how you're gonna be saved. Now Esau, he's posing all this to be salvation. Okay, getting hooked up to the grid, digital grid, taking that MOTB. You see, it's a lot of things that's gonna appear to be salvation. Okay, but it's not. The only way to receive salvation is trusting in the Lord, man. And Judas Maccabeus understood this, man. Sirach 34:1, Salakia 13 in the GNT. Those who fear the Lord, Yahawah will live. Because they have put their trust in the one who can save them. See, there's only one person that can save us, man. And that's Yahawah through his only begotten son, Yahawah, man. It says, verse 14, fear the Lord, and you will have nothing else to fear. See, that's power, bro. When you fear the Lord, bro, you're not fearing, okay, you're not fearing these the byproducts of the evils that come from the Lord. You're not going to fear Esau. You're not going to fear the sword. You're not going to fear famine. You're not going to fear death. Why? Because we're getting straight to the source. We're fearing the one whom these evil things come from. You see? And if you get on his good side, okay, he's going to protect you, man. So it says, fear the Lord and you will have nothing else to fear. And there's a quote, you know, every time I read this scripture, there's a quote that always pops in my mind that I heard growing up. A man that can bow and kneel before the Most High can stand before any man. You see? And that's exactly all of our holy forefathers, man. They moved in that energy. King David, you know, humble, you know, and meek towards Yahawah. But as it relates to, you know, his enemies, you know, man, they're nothing. I stamped them as the mire, as the residue in the streets. I beat them as small as a chaff. You see? So when you fear Yahawah, bro, hey, that's power, man. You can stand before anything or anybody. So it says, fear the Lord and you will have nothing else to fear. If your trust is in him, you will never act like a coward, man. See? Like those wicked jakes that told Israel openly to go get that dragon juice, acting like cowards. Why? Because they don't have the fear of the Lord, man. You see? But the elect, they do. And they're not going to beat no fucking cowards, man. They're not going to bow the knee, okay, during the hour of temptation. They're not going to bow the knee and try to, you know, consent unto Esau when he roll in like a flood. You see? Bust down your doors. The elect, they're not going to consent, bro. They're not going to be cowards, man. See? It says, verse 15, people who fear the Lord are fortunate because they know where they can look for help. So let's go back here to the book of Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees 15:7. It says, but Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear. And hey man, that's what the real prophets are doing in these times, bro. They're exhorting their people, man, not to fear. They're not feeding into your fears. They're not feeding into the fears of the flesh. Yeah, man. Well, yeah, we don't want you to lose your job, man. Go get that VC, man. You know, God gave a white man this science, you know, to make these medicines. You see? No, bro, if you're a true prophet, man, you're gonna exhort your people to don't fear. Hey, trust in the Lord, man. You see? And as I stated earlier through the spirit, bro, lessons like this is boring to Jake, man. They don't want to hear, okay, just have faith, and trust in the Lord. Jake want to hear some carnal shit, man. That's why all these other camps, they just feed you with gimmicks. Okay, you got ISUPK doing that bootleg ass training in the fucking park, bro. Niggas can't even do pull-ups. I mean, they pepper spraying each other, you know, terrorizing, you know, little Edomite children, you know, dressing all black, you know, like, come on, bro. But see, that type of shit excites Jake, man. Because Jake is foolish. They're sottish children, man. You see? But the elect who's mature in the mind, who's mature in their spirit, who's mature in faith, they're gonna recognize, like, yeah, bro. They're gonna see exactly, you know, what the Lord got going on. They're gonna be like, yeah, just trusting the Lord. That's our only way. You know? The Lord, he literally got us all in a position to where there's nothing you can do, bro. There's nothing carnal you can do to get yourself or your family out of this situation. Hey, if you love your family so much, the only thing you can do as a man is to do the work of Yahawah and keep your faith, man. That's all you can do. Because our battle is not in the flesh. This is a spiritual battle, man. Ephesians 6, 2 Corinthians 10. All right, the Lord says, wait ye upon me until the day that I rise up to the prey, man. So that's what we're commanded to do, man, is wait and have faith and preserve that faith. Keep that faith, man. 2 Maccabees 15:8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them. And we see Esau and all these heathens, they're coming up against us, bro. See? You had Pete Hegseth said, was it Pete Hegseth or the other? It was a chief secretary of staff of the United States, you know, White House, saying that yeah, we're the dragon revived. Y'all have awakened the dragon. You see, Elder Yashwama was playing that clip on his video, you know. So, bro, he's talking cash money right now, bro. And he's ready for war, bro. Okay? But the elect, they're not scared, bro. You know, you don't see our apostles, you know, pushing, you know, for brothers to go get guns and weapons and, you know, all that shit, man. No, our apostles pushing faith. We're a faith-based We're faith-based Israelites, man. See? Yeah, at the water, bro. Yeah, Stephen Miller. I did a lesson on him yesterday. That's the White House chief of staff, man. That nigga's talking cash money. You know, told Memphis police force, hey, y'all are unleashed. Go do what you need to do. Y'all have unprecedented support behind y'all from the White House. So yeah, we see, bro. Esau, I'm telling you, man. Okay, you niggas think this shit is a joke. You think it's a conspiracy. We'll see. All right. So it says, wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received, man. That's why it's important to stay in this book, man. Read, be familiar with these different accounts, man. Okay. And remember the help which in former times the Lord came through for our forefathers, man. Okay. And also the help that he came through for us here in these times, man. All of us at this point should have particular moments in our lives to where we remember the Lord helping us. You see, getting us out of tight situations, man. You see, and those experiences on top of, the accounts that we can go back into the scriptures and make reference of, all that should strengthen our faith, man. Should give us comfort and give us every sure confidence that the Lord, he gonna come through now. Why he gonna stop? Why is the Lord not gonna come and help us in a time when we need him the most? This is a time of trouble such as never was since there's a nation. He's not gonna leave his elect high and dry, bro. That's not according to his plan. And he would be made a liar if he did that. So we know, divine help and intervention is coming, bro. It's coming on this planet, such as the likes never seen before. But there's only one way to tap into that, bro. And your only option got to be trusting in the Lord. It ain't no plan B. It ain't no other option, bro. It ain't no other option. Yeah, we bring out all these precepts, all these accounts, going to prophecy. You got Jake saying, well, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Nigga, we gonna trust in the Lord, bro. What the hell you gonna do? You see? Verse 8, wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory. See? So Judas Maccabeus, man, hey, that's a righteous man, bro. That's the mindset he pushed upon his people, man. He pushed that mindset upon his people to, hey, y'all need to expect victory, man. Don't look at the sights. Don't look what's around you. Because if you look at what's around you, you analyze that shit in the flesh, you're going to fold, man. You got to imagine what they were seeing. They were seeing, bro, Nicanor and all his hosts, man, had war elephants, had camels, had horses, you know, strong shields and bows and bucklers and swords. And here they are on the Sabbath day, man, defenseless. You see, about to be ambushed. But he told them, hey, expect a victory. You know how much faith that takes, man? To look at your enemies in their face, bro, and you just see a host of them, as far as the eye can see. And man, I expect a victory. That's what trusting in the Lord looks like, man. And the Lord he's gonna get that out of his elect, man. He is going to get that out of his elect. So it says, and now to expect the victory. See, we got to have an expectation. What's your expectation, man? Is your expectation is it to lose? Okay. You a high and mighty Hebrew right now. You a super brew right now. While you on the grid, you got air conditioning, you got a car. Okay, you got internet and Wi-Fi. Okay, you go out to the highways and byways right now. You setting the streets on fire. Okay, bringing it out. You know, but yet when Esau when Esau come down, you going, oh shit, man. I wasn't expecting to be this bad. No, bro. See, bro. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, but we gotta expect the victory, man. We're not in this thing to lose. YAHAWASHI didn't spill his blood for us to lose. You see? He secured the bag for us, bro. Jeremiah 29 and verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, Yahawah Shai. thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. That's our expected end, man. It's victory. So we expect the victory, because that's the Lord's thoughts and plans are for his elect, which we hope and pray that we're part of that number, man. That's why it's important to put on, therefore, as the elect. You see? So you can have that confidence that the Lord's going to come and help in time of need. So let's finish this. 2 Maccabees 15:8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them. And that's it also makes me think of another account. You know, in 2 Kings 18 and 2 Chronicles gives an account of it. 2 Chronicles 32, with King Hezekiah, when you had the Assyrians coming up against Jerusalem at the time. And that Assyrian ambassador was talking cash money. Nigga sound just like Noah Yuval Harari, bro. You know, may have been, you know, in the ancient world, you know. But nonetheless, let me get that account real quick. I'm just gonna get what King Hezekiah told his people, man. Let me get that real quick. That's what he told Jake. He wasn't pushing that spirit of doubt, that spirit of fear. You know, fuck what the eyes can see, bro. We walk by faith and not by sight. It's gonna look bad, bro. You know, and starting with our apostles and the men on down, we haven't shunned to declare unto Jake that it is gonna look bad. You see, it's gonna look bad, but it's always that but, man. YAHAWASHI. That's it. But YAHAWASHI, man. He gonna come through somehow, some way. We don't know exactly how. We don't know how that standard's gonna look, but a standard is promised. In spite of how bad things are gonna look. And we gotta believe that, man. 2 Chronicles chapter 32. I'll start right here, verse 1 in the NLT. We're going to read down to verse 8 real quick because we're going to get back to that 2 Maccabees. But it's 2 Chronicles 32 and 1 in the NLT. After Hezekiah had faithfully carried out his work, King Sennacherib of Assyria invaded Judah. And we're living in a time of an invasion right now. We're in a siege. This is a silent siege being laid out against us. Our enemies he's compassing a trench about us, man. Like Yahawashi said in Luke 19. This is bro. This is about to be 70 AD on fucking steroids, bro. The times that we in right now. So we're being invaded. We're surrounded, man. Got Esau on his left hand, and angels, Palantir, deep fake AI. You know, got all this shit, man. There's nowhere you can go. So it says, after Hezekiah had faithfully carried out his work, Sennacherib of Assyria invaded Judah. He laid siege to the fortified towns, giving orders for his army to break through their walls. When Hezekiah realized that Sennacherib also intended to attack Jerusalem, he consulted with his officials and military advisors. That's right, man. Proverbs 24 says, for by wise counsel shalt thou make thy war. See? For in having the multitude of counselors, there's safety. So who's the counselors in these times? The prophets, man. See? So that's why it's important, man. Hey, you better consult the prophets, man, and be on order to those prophets' words, because they're receiving a message straight from Yahawah to tell us exactly how we're supposed to wage this war. And this is not a physical war that we're supposed to wage. We're not supposed to get physical with Esau. It doesn't make any goddamn sense, too. So this is spiritual, man. The only thing that can get us out of this, okay, once again, is by having faith in the Lord. That's it. That's it, and that's all, bro. All right, verse 3, NLT. He consulted with his officials and military advisors, and they decided to stop the flow of the springs outside the city. They organized a huge work crew to stop the flow of the springs, cutting off the brook that ran through the fields. For they said, why should the kings of Assyria come here and find plenty of water? Verse 5. Then Hezekiah worked hard at repairing all the broken sections of the wall, erecting towers and constructing a second wall outside the first. You see? So he was ultimately fortifying All right, fortifying the city. And where's our fortification at, man? Proverbs 18:10. The names of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it and is safe. See? And in the spirit, our fort is what? Our faith, man. So that was the first thing that King Hezekiah did. As soon as he got message, as soon as he got word that the Assyrians were laying siege against Jerusalem. All right, he went to the prophets, he went to his advisors, to his counselors. All right, he got counsel, and then he started to put in that work, man. All right, and that's what we're doing in the spirit. We're fortifying our faith. Verse 5 in the NLT. Then Hezekiah worked hard at repairing all the broken sections of the wall, erecting towers and constructing a second wall outside of the first. He also reinforced the supporting terraces in the city of David and manufactured large numbers of weapons and shields. And what's our weapons and shields? Ephesians the 6th chapter. And it says Ephesians 6, and I believe verse if a brother can put it up, Baba Shah, it says, and above all, taking the shield of faith. See? It says, verse 6, he appointed military officers over the people and assembled them before him in the city, in the square at the city gate. Then Hezekiah encouraged them. See? Encouraged them. What's another word for encourage? To comfort, man. And that's what all these video epistles, okay, live street teachings, okay, even talking to a brother on the phone, and what is ultimately to comfort the minds of your people, man. You see? That's important, bro. Boosting the morale amongst your people. If you're going out to war and you and your men, y'all have a low morale, you're not feeling confident, you're as good as dead, man. See, so the Lord set up the prophets, man, to basically, well, not basically, but to exhort and to comfort his people, man, to boost up that morale, to have faith in YAHAWASHI. It says, middle part of verse 6. Then Hezekiah encouraged them by saying, be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or discouraged because of the king of Assyria or his mighty army. For there is a power far greater on our side. See? And that's what we speaking and preaching through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. Yeah, Esau strong as hell, bro. He's got the baddest military that this earth has ever seen, man. This nigga, you got to give it to him, bro. You see? But we got a power that's on our side that's far greater than Esau. That's running laps around, breaking his fucking hellfire missiles in half. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. The Lord's about to show, man, YAHAWASHI and the angels, they're about to show up and show out, bro. And you got to believe that, man. It says, verse 8, he may have a great army, but they are merely men. We have Yahweh, our power, to help us and to fight our battles for us. Hezekiah's words greatly encouraged the people. So let's go back here to 2 Maccabees 15:8. Says, this is what Judas Maccabeus was saying. He says, wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid, all right, the help, which should come unto them from the Almighty. And so, comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles that they won aforetime, he made them more cheerful. See, and that's how we comfort our people now, through the law and through the prophets, through the whole volume of the book, man. You see, that's the only way to comfort your people, man. Verse 10, and when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge, showing them where therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths. See? And that's what we're doing. As we're telling you to expect a victory. Okay, YAHAWASHI, he's going to come and deliver us. We're also showing you, okay, Esau and his treachery, man. We're exposing this goddamn devil, man. Why? So you don't have that mindset, okay, of trusting this damn devil. You see? Let's get that in GNT. I'm going to get this in the GNT real quick Second Maccabees 15 and 10 in the G&T, it says, when his men were ready for battle, he gave them their orders, and at the same time pointed out how the Gentiles could not be trusted because they have never kept their treaties. See? So as YAHAWASHI through his men, through the apostles, okay, they're giving, us our orders as to what we should be doing. All right. At the same time, pointing out to us, okay, that these goddamn heathens, man, they're not to be trusted. You see? And that's why a part of knowing who you are, you got to know who the enemy is, man. You see? For all you coon ass niggas, y'all always talking about the white man. Always, that's important, bro. The wicked has to be revealed. You see? If you don't know who your enemy is, or if you're in the spirit of loving on this goddamn devil, man, you see, you're gonna lose. He's not to be trusted, man. Never. See? And once again, he's posing that micro C hip as if it's gonna be salvation, man. Here, you take this, you could get back on the grid, you could, keep your job. We'll restore everything unto you, man. We'll give you your family back. See? But no, he is not to be trusted, man. And like it says in 2 Ezra 16, those that consent unto him shall be had in derision. So going back, 2 Maccabees 15 and 11. Yeah, let's get it in the G&T version. 2 Maccabees 15 and 11 G&T. It says, he armed all his men, not by encouraging them to trust in shields and spears, but by inspiring them with courageous words. See? That's how Judas Maccabeus armed his men. He didn't arm his men by, creating this large inventory of shields and spears. No, he armed his men, okay, by putting them in the right mindset. See, and that's what's pushed out here at Great Millstone. As we go into a lot of prophecies, but brothers also do, starting with the apostles, also do a lot of videos, okay, going into the importance of mindset, man. Elder Ariala, he's big on that. He's big on mindset, pushing mindset to us, man. That's how you truly arm your people, man. You see? So it says, verse 12, it says, I'll read verse 11 again. It says, he armed all his men, not by encouraging them to trust in shields and spears, just like King David said, Psalms 44. I don't trust in my bow, and neither shall my sword save me, man. It says he armed all his men, not by encouraging them to trust in shields and spears, but by inspiring them with courageous words. So there's power, bro. It's a lot of power, man. And truly believing in the words of the prophets, man. You see? And that's why we keep coming back every day. As long as the Lord is keeping us and keeping the spirit upon us, keeping us in His truth. That's why we keep coming back, man. Listening to the apostles every day. Listening to the brothers' videos every day. Because that does something, bro. It's arming us, man. It's fortifying, it's galvanizing our minds, it's galvanizing our spirits and our faith, man. You see? That's why we're not out here bugged out like these jakes, man. Man, what am I, hey, like Ricky Smiley? You see all these niggas, now they want to talk about, so-called white man and how he's planning on, coming down on so-called black people, and they all afraid, bro. See? But we speak about these things, and hey, we like, hey, call all y'all but Shemal Shah, bring it on. See? Because why? Our only plan is to just trust in the Lord. Whatever the Lord wants to do. Okay? Whatever he wants to do, and we know what he's going to do. He's going to save his elect, man. So it says, I want to read the rest. I'll just kind of read it. Yeah, I'll just read through it because it's about to go into a dream that he received, a dream that Judas Maccabeus received. So this 2 Maccabees 15 and verse 12 in the KJV. And this was his vision, that Onias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and a good man, reverend in conversation, gentle in condition, well spoken, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews. So he was a very devout and godly man. It says, this done in like manner there appeared a man with gray hairs and exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Onias answered, saying, This is a lover of the brethren, who prayeth much for the people and for the holy city, to wit, Jeremiah is the prophet of the Most High. So he had a dream of, Jeremiah. Verse 15, whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus, Take this holy sword, a gift from the Most High, with the which thou shalt wound the adversaries, man. See, and in the spirit, that's what we've been gifted with. We've been gifted, okay, with the spiritual sword, the scriptures, man. And that's how we're wounding the adversary. Esau's wounded, bro. These words, bro, this Bible, this testimony is cutting Esau's ass to shreds. That's why he's ready to, that's why he's clamping down and censoring, brothers, man, censoring their pages. Ultimately, just about to, get rid of us, man. Get the pages off the internet, and boom, it's gonna be the famine of the word. Because why? Esau is wounded. Scripture speaks about a wounded spirit who can bear. You see? And especially Amalek. That nigga, he's really hurt. Verse 17, thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good and able to stir them up to valor. See, that's the whole point, man. Okay, these words should stir you, you brothers up to valor, man. Be men. See? And once again, unlike these other camps, bro, IUIC, ISUPK, they're not stirring their men up to be to be men. You see? They bowed the knee. They bowed the knee in 2020. Go get that fucking juice. But yet they on some rah-rah shit, marching. They got the form of godliness, they got the form of being men. Okay, but when it really gets down to crunch time, them niggas folded, bro. And they're gonna fold during that hour of temptation, man. No ifs and buts were about it. Cause that's just the track record. That's just the that's their track record, bro. It's the fold. It's easy, bro. Niggas, they compromise very easily. That's what happens when you don't have fear and faith in the Lord, bro. You're gonna be a coward, like we got earlier in Sirach 34. Let me read that again in Sirach 34, bro. See, so this is power. True power is trusting in the Lord, bro. Sirach 34 and 13 again in the GMT. Those who fear the Lord will live, because they have put their trust in the one who can save them. Fear the Lord, and you will have nothing else to fear. You're uncompromisable, bro. Okay, in the words of Elder Manata Zakba, you're unfuckwittable. Unfuckwittable. All right? You can't, Esau can't fuck with you, bro. If you fear the Lord, bro, man, hey, Esau fears that, bro. It's just a looking at in a man's eyes when he can't be compromised. That's what the fear of the Lord does, man. So that's our only plan. We don't have another plan, man. If you're wondering, what's y'all's plan at Great Millstone? What y'all gonna do when that time comes? Nigga, trust in the Lord, bro. That's our only plan. Fuck you talking about, man? So it says, fear the Lord, and you will have nothing else to fear. If your trust is in him, you will never act like a coward. See? It's that simple. Yeah, man. Let's go back here to 2 Maccabees 15 and 17. Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good, and able to stir them up to valor, and to encourage the hearts of the young men, they determined not to pitch camp. See, so they're like, man, we're not even gonna pitch camp. We ain't gonna set up no tents tonight. Man, we ready to go out to fight. See? And mind you, they were looking at the host of Nicanor, but they weren't afraid of that. And what got them in this mindset to be courageous and fight? The mindset that Judas Maccabeus pushed upon them, man. Pushing the fear and pushing trust in the Lord, man. So it says, and to encourage the hearts of the young men, they determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them. and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temple were in danger. And real quick in the GNT, they go back in the GNT. This is one of my favorite accounts, bro. You know, and accounts like this is what's going to help see us through Jacob's trouble, man. That's why it's important, man, to, hey, you got to know the scriptures, man. You got to know and you got to believe that these things happen. You ain't supposed to read the scriptures and, oh, man, that's a good story. Like it's a fucking bedtime story, man. Now, hey, these are good accounts to read, before bed. It gets in your subconscious. I like to listen to the audio Bible as I go to sleep. It gets, but it's more than, it's not a bedtime story, bro. This is real life. This is what actually happened, bro. That's why, when we read accounts, I don't like to call it, stories. Oh yeah, this is the story that happened. No, I like to, it's because these are accounts. I call them accounts, man. This is historical facts. This is historical facts of divine intervention that YAHAWASHI came in and intervened for our people, man. Displaying high levels of faith. These are accounts, man. This is historical proof. Just because Esau doesn't credit it, okay, in these textbooks or, man, fuck Esau, bro. Fuck Esau and his so-called history, man. No, this is real history, man. Every time you read the Bible, you're going to the source of real history, man. It's either you believe that or you don't, man. And if you don't believe that, you're gonna fold to Esau, bro. You're gonna fold to this fucking faggot, man. See? And I'll be damn, bro. Man, Yahawah Baba Shah. Hey, keep your spirit up on me, man. Man, what a reproach it would be. You a grown ass man and you bound to another fucking man. You're bound to a base man, bro. The fuck, man? No, bro. Esau's base. There's more than he's pushing. There's more than two genders. He wants to feed you with fucking roach milk, and you bound to him. What a reproach. What a stain, bro. And you're gonna have your head down for a long time in the kingdom, man, if you bow to the Esau, bro. Hell no, man. It's not worth it, man. Second Maccabees 15. And where are we at? Second Maccabees 15 and 17 in the GNT. It says, the eloquent words that Judas spoke encouraged everyone to be brave and inspired boys to fight like men. So it was young men out there on that battlefield, probably 12 years old, 13 years old. You see? But they inspired them. Just hearing the words of Judas Maccabees through the spirit, those spirit-filled words, it inspired those young men to fight like grown men. And they were slaughtering grown men, those Edomites, man. Young men, 12, 13, 14 years old, just slaughtering. You see? Through the spirit and power of Yahawah. The spirit of the Lord came mightily upon those young men, man. Hey, and a lot of you brothers, man, you may have some young sons. You see? You may have some young, some young men. Hey, don't be surprised at what the Lord is going to do through your sons, man. I'm speaking through the spirit right now. I'm envisioning this, man. Hey, some of you brothers, man, you may have sons, they may be kind of, real timid or quiet or, weak or whatnot. Yo, don't be surprised. Hey, if that standard comes through your son, and the Lord, yo, the Lord about to show up, man. Your young son just taking out troops, man. And you looking at your boy like, damn. Call on y'all about shot. The standard came through my son like that. Then the spirit hop on you, man. See? Yep, let's get that. Yep, brother, put it up. The water. Brother GMS Yahweh put up Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall the Lord Yahawah defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. And the house of David shall be as the Alahayim and as the angel of the Lord before them, man. See, the feeble, okay, the young, the weak, hey, it may be, hey, because we lived up in a fucked up situation, man. Some of you brothers may have children, with handicap. They may be handicapped, mentally or even, physically. Hey, the Lord gonna work miracles, man. And hey, man, the water bush my shot. This is gonna happen, man. You gotta believe it. Second Maccabees 15 and 17 in the GNT. The eloquent words that Judas spoke encouraged everyone to be brave and inspired boys to fight like men. Their city, their religion, and their temple were in danger. See, we got all that at stake right now, bro. And we're already through as a nation. We're already destroyed, man. See? So we got everything to fight for, man. Says, so the Jews made up their minds not to waste any time, but to make a daring attack. So they went kamikaze mode, man. All or nothing. Says, but to make a daring attack against the enemy and bravely decided their fate in hand-to-hand combat. Mind you, young men were in this, they were in this fight, man. 12, 13, 14 years old. Hand-to-hand combat with skilled warriors. And the fuel that was fueling them was the words of, Judas Maccabeus. Says they were not so concerned about their own families. And hey, same thing with us, man. Hey, we got families, but we're not concerned with them, man. If you want your family to be in a good case, you got to handle up on your business as a man of the Lord. So it says they were not so concerned about their own families and relatives as they were about their sacred temple. That's what we guard and prize the most, man, is the present, is being at good standings with our power and having the presence of YAHAWASHI amongst us, man. Everything else is, everything else will be taken care of. The main thing that's upon our minds is having the presence of YAHAWASHI with us, man. See? So we're not concerned with our wives, with our relatives, with our kinfolk, man, with our families, man. Everything that'll be taken care of, man. It says they were not so concerned about their own families and relatives as they were about their sacred temple. And the people who had to stay in Jerusalem were deeply concerned about how a battle on open ground would turn out. So now I'm going to read the rest. I'm not going to really commentate too much on it. I also want to kind of read through the rest of this account. Verse 20 in the GNT. Everyone was waiting to see who would win the battle. The enemy troops were already moving forward with their cavalry on each side of them, and their elephants placed in strategic positions. Judas Maccabeus, and I know I said I wasn't going to commentate on it, but got to. And we see Esau and all these other nations, they're placed in strategic positions. You see Esau literally rolling out the National Guard in every major populated, Jake City, bro. Memphis, Tennessee, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Louisiana, New Orleans. See? So Esau's got himself in a strategic position, bro, against us, just like he always did, just like he's doing right here as we're reading. So it says the enemy troops were already moving forward with their cavalry on each side of them and their elephants placed in strategic positions. Judas Maccabeus looked at the huge enemy force, the variety of their weapons, and their fierce elephants. Then he raised his hand toward heaven and prayed to Yahweh, who works miracles, because he knew that the Lord gives victory to those who deserve it, not to those who have a strong army. Judas said, Lord, Yahweh, when Hezekiah was king. Hey, that's the spirit, bro. And I forgot that he mentioned Hezekiah in this chapter, bro. Man. Says, and see, but that's the importance of going to these different accounts, man. Going to these different accounts, in the scriptures, man, it boosts your faith. That's what the men of the Lord pulled from. They pulled from prior experiences on how the Lord came through for our ancestors, man. It says, Judah said, Lord, when Hezekiah was king of Judah, you sent your angel who killed 185,000 of King Sennacherib's men. Now, once again, Lord of heaven, send your good angel to make our enemies shake and tremble with fear. Who's that good angel, man? Yahawashi. Isaiah 47, he says that he's not going to meet this place as a man. Yahawashi, he's going to come in that angelic force, just like he did during the time of the Assyrians when he attacked, Sennacherib and his army, man. Yahawashi pulled up in that angelic presence. In the time of ancient Egypt, Yahawashi pulled up in that angelic Alashaya presence, man. So he's going to pull up in the spiritual Egypt in that same presence, bro. Except this time it's going to shake the earth. The whole earth, man, is going to shake. Says, with your great power, destroy these people who have slandered you and have come out to attack your chosen people. So Judas ended his prayer. Nicanor and his army moved forward to the sound of trumpets and battle songs, but Judas and his men went into battle, calling on the Most High for help. See, and Esau and his army, they moving, they're progressing with shouts of triumph, like the like Stephen Miller, and Pete Hegseth. They talking cash money as if they already won. You see, but yet, okay, we're moving, towards the battle, okay, with prayer and fasting. And we just had the Day of Atonement 2 days ago, man. See? So it says, but Judas and his men went into battle calling on the Most High for help. So by fighting with their hands and praying to the Most High in their hearts, the Jews killed more than 35,000 of the enemy. How grateful they were for the help they had received from the Most High. When the battle was over and they were going home celebrating their victory, they noticed Nicanor in full armor lying dead on the battlefield. And Esau, you about to die. He that is a king today, tomorrow shall die. It says, then the loud shouts, they praised the Lord in their native language. So they were speaking in Hebrew, man. Call Allah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah YAHAWASHI. You see? Judas Maccabeus, who had always fought with all his body and soul. So he put his all into it, man. And that's how we got to be, man. We got to put our all into this fight, man. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, bro. Says Judas Maccabeus, who had always fought with all his body and soul for his own people, never losing the patriotism of his youth, ordered his men to cut off Nicanor's head and right arm and to take them to Jerusalem. When they arrived in the city, he called together all the people, stationed the priests before the altar, and sent for the men in the fort. He showed them the head of evil Nicanor and the arm which the wicked man had arrogantly stretched out against the sacred temple of the Almighty. Then he cut out the tongue of that godless man. See, and the Lord going to cut out the tongue of you goddamn devils, man. Meaning what? You're no longer going to have a fucking voice in the earth, man. See, because all you hear right now is Esau, bro. Esau and his goddamn media. You hear this nigga everywhere, bro. What was that, Psalm 73? Their words strut throughout the earth. So you Edomites, y'all ain't gonna say shit in the kingdom of heaven, man. We're not gonna hear a goddamn peep out of you. See? And you better not fucking cry when we whoop your ass, man. You Edomite, bro. Y'all gonna have some muzzles on, bro. Hey, they used to put muzzles on Jake when we were in slavery on the plantations, bro. We used to have muzzles on our mouths. You don't think that's what's gonna happen to you, Edomites, man? We're gonna cut your tongue out, and you're gonna have a fucking muzzle on for reinforcement, man. Y'all, listen, the Lord's about to silence you, Edomites, man. See? Because we see what happens when you have a voice in the earth. You blaspheme. You talk shit, man. So no more. So that's why Nicanor commanded his men to cut out the tongue of Nicanor. See? Because Nicanor was talking shit, man, against the Most High and against his people and against the temple, man. So that's going to happen on a grand scale in these times, man. He showed them the Salakia, verse 32, GNT. He showed them the head of evil Nicanor and the arm which that wicked man had arrogantly stretched out against the sacred temple of the Almighty. Then he cut out the tongue of that godless man, promising to feed it bit by bit to the birds. Yo, that's cold, man. That's cold, bro. He he gave the birds, Nicanor's tongue to eat on, man. See? Says promising to feed it bit by bit to the birds. So he chopped up his tongue in pieces to hang up his head opposite the temple as evidence of what his foolishness did for him. Everyone there looked up to heaven and praised the Lord, who had revealed his power and had kept his temple from being defiled. Judas hung Nicanor's head from the wall of the fort as a clear proof to everyone of the Lord's help. See what happens when you just trust in the Lord, man? When trusting in the Lord is your only option, you win. You'll never win by being a fucking coward. You'll never win by trusting in Esau, man. It says, but, uh, but, damn, Salaki. It says, Judas hung Nicanor's head from the wall of the fort as a clear proof to everyone of the Lord's help. By unanimous vote, it was decided that this day would never be forgotten. That's why we're talking about it now, but would be celebrated each year on the eve of Mordecai's Day, which is the 13th day of the 12th month, called Adar in Aramaic. So that's the point right there, man. That concludes, this account, not story, but this account, this historical account, bro. This was this actually happened, man. See, and accounts like this is what's going to boost our faith, man. Yahweh Shema Shah is about to show up and show out for those, okay, who don't have divided loyalties, who just purely trust in him. So that's our plan, man. If you were wondering, okay, as brothers been doing all these videos, and we're gonna continue to do all these videos about Esau coming down as a great flood, and you wondering what's y'all's plan, that's our plan right there, bro. It's just trusting the Lord. He gonna take care of the rest somehow, some way. All right. So that's it, and that's all. Abaratazal, you Akim and Akwats were edified, and the water for all the precepts and comments. Gotta hurry up and get on this clock. All right. You know how it go, man. But hey, hop a thumb, man, to all you sincere hearted Akim and Akwats, man. Hey, I truly love y'all, brothers, man. Hey, keep fighting, keep pushing. All right, keep your faith, man. Fuck Esau, man. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to my power, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Hakodash. I want to give double honor to my beloved apostle, Elder Great Millstone, Mawaf of the Ball, Shalom.